Hey guys, welcome back. So today's video is going to be me sharing my first impression or my first reaction to Mercari. If you aren't familiar with Mercari, it's a reselling platform similar to Poshmark or eBay. If you don't know me, I am a full-time reseller on Poshmark and eBay, and I've been asked by many people over the last couple years why I don't sell on Mercari. And I think the main reason is I just haven't been drawn to it. I don't know what it is. I downloaded the app in late 2018. I got on, I thought it was weird, and then I deleted the app. And I also at the time was starting YouTube, I was starting eBay, so I didn't really have too much extra time. But with everything going on in the world today, I have a little extra time. And so I thought, why not? This is on my list to give it a shot. And my goal this weekend was to list 200 items and see how many things sold. But I was only able to list 100, and that was because they have a cap of 100. So I still think it's helpful to maybe share just my first reaction, very, very, very preliminary thoughts on this platform. And maybe if you're thinking about it, I can share a few things that I liked and didn't like. And maybe if you already sell on the platform, you can correct us all down below if you have some tips and tricks. I did not watch any YouTube videos on Mercari. I have a couple friends that sell on it, that seem to make some sales on it. It wasn't too hard to figure out, but there were some pain points. So I'm just gonna share with you what I did this weekend, some likes that I discovered, some dislikes that I discovered, and then probably I'll do one or two more videos in the next month just to update you on how that's going. And at the month mark, I'll probably decide if this is a platform that I want to continue with, or if it was just a good experiment and I'm gonna stop using it. So using 3 platforms is a little scary for me, just because, you know, you have to, if you're selling the same stuff on 3 platforms, more likelihood that maybe I would forget to remove it off of other ones. And anyways, it might get a little messy. So here we are. But if you are interested in reselling and you aren't already subscribed, definitely consider hitting the subscribe button down below. And if you like this video and when I try different things, hit the thumbs up, let me know. I very much appreciate it. So this weekend I listed 100 items. Now that's a lot, and I don't normally list that much in 2 days, but I did have a small injury recently, and I was trying to leave my leg propped up. And so I was basically just sitting on my couch for 2 days, and I needed something that just I could focus on. So I had Netflix going and I just sat. So also to cross list 100 items, I could have hit the 200. To cross list is much quicker because it's a lot of copying and pasting for me. So if I say anything in this and you're like, what is she talking about? You can totally do that, or you can't, or this is the fix or something. Feel free to leave it in the comments below. I know a lot of people read the comments, including myself. And so it could just help us all out if you know some tip or trick that maybe would help with some of my frustrations. Overall, I think Mercari is like a lot of platforms. It's hard to start a new one, especially when you have another platform to compare it to. I only can compare this, or the easiest way I can kind of describe this is, it's kind of like you just broke up with your boyfriend of, 4 years, and now you're dating someone new, and you're like, oh, it's great, but they don't do this, or they do that weird, or, I don't know, like they snore, or they don't like doing the dishes, but your ex liked to do the dishes. It's kind of like that with these platforms. You're probably gonna like certain things about each of them, but you're gonna dislike certain things and kind of have that comparison. So I do apologize if you don't like comparison to other platforms, but this is all I have to work with, is just the other 2 platforms that I'm familiar with. So I had 2 sales this weekend. One was a Free People top that I've had listed for over a year, and it sold for $27 with free shipping. And the second item was a $10 Anthropology top. It was just a basic t-shirt, like a peach t-shirt. It did have a little zigzag pattern on the short sleeve, but for the most part, it was a basic t-shirt. So I listed it for 14, and someone sent me an offer for 10. Now that did include free shipping, but the shipping on that is like $3.50. So not a huge return, but that was something I paid very little for, and it wasn't selling on the other 2 platforms. So happy to get it moving out the door. I did not promote any listings, so I have not tried that out, but I'd be willing to. I like the promoting on eBay, so I'm assuming I would probably like it on Mercari at some point. I did utilize something called smart pricing. I'm not going to talk about everything about Mercari because I I don't know everything. And it's not a Mercari for beginners video. It's more, just my takeaways after a couple days. Smart pricing. So Mercari has 10% fees, which is significantly lower than Poshmark and eBay. But they do have the smart pricing where you set the price, but then you basically set a second price, and that's like, $5, $6 less. And Mercari, to keep your listing competitive, they will maybe bring down your price to the lower price over time. So I like that feature. I had no problem with it. It was easy to set up, and I utilized that. Just one thing to note, I did do all of my cross-listing on the computer. I copy and paste. So I did not try to sell or use the app to sell at all. So maybe it's easier using the app, but I don't list with my phone in general. So it's just quicker for me to type and copy and paste. So there was one thing going on this weekend. It was a promotion called Rising Stars. I did get a $25 coupon for listing 16 items or something like that. I couldn't really understand what I was doing. I was like, okay, I'm already listing. I couldn't figure out if I was supposed to list in these categories they had mentioned or if it was just any category. I don't know. I'm sure I can use a $25 coupon on, workout top or something like that. So we'll see if I remember to use that. Okay, so some likes and dislikes. Likes, I like the simplicity of the listing aspect. It's similar to Poshmark in that there's very few items that you need to fill out. There were some shipping issues. So there's something like, sorry, I feel like now I've got hair all over. There was a small area for category, and I kept forgetting to hit that drop down. And so when I would get down to the bottom, it did some weird stuff with the shipping, and I didn't figure it out at first. And I was just getting very frustrated. So, it was simplified, but I was still making mistakes. So I do like that there's no lowball offers. It seems to me that buyers can't send you an offer less than 20% of your asking price, which is great. Amazing. Both of the items that sold, I got an offer of, a few dollars off, which never happens, rarely happens on the other platforms. So that was amazing. Fees are low, so 10% fees. That's really easy to figure out in your head, and it's just easy to kind of calculate. And what I liked is the fees, the 10% is also on low dollar items. So if I sell something on Mercari for $6, it would be the 60 cents as the fee. If I were to sell that same item for $6 on Poshmark, it would be a $2.95 fee. Significant difference. So I would probably be more inclined to list low dollar items on Mercari just for that reason. Kind of like eBay, just they have a fee based, not the weird stuff like Poshmark. Weird stuff for anything under 15. I don't know. Anyways, you can list anything. From what I can see, you can list home appliances, you can list electronics. I don't know what the cap is, if there is a cap, but it appears that they might do quite a bit of electronics and computers and stuff like that. And they had a whole Ray Dunn and home goods section. So it seems like you can sell a little bit more. I know Poshmark, you can sell home goods, but that's been a bit more recent, and I'm not sure how that's performing. Mercari, it seemed like that was something that was utilized, or at least showing up on my screen a lot. Yeah, so that's basically all the things I liked about Mercari. Simplified. I liked that there were more options than Poshmark, but it wasn't so many options that it's overwhelming like eBay. eBay, when you have it figured out, it's easy, but it takes some time to figure out. Mercari, there is some figuring out to do, but less so. And they do have some options that cater to new sellers. So maybe you don't want to figure out selling. You could just kind of go with their shipping label and keep it easy. Yeah, so overall, I think there were some decent likes. Okay, moving on to some dislikes. And I'm going to try and stay somewhat positive because I'm sure some of these, it was just user error on my part, but also they should maybe have work on improving some of that, because if it's not intuitive for me to figure out, it might not be intuitive for buyers or for other sellers, and they might just get frustrated and leave the app. So hopefully they're always working on that user experience key, that user experience design. Okay, so dislikes. Why? Why did I have to add my zip code every single listing? Like manually type my zip code? Why? Are people out there shipping from multiple zip codes for different items? Mind blowing. Just keystrokes. You shouldn't have to waste your time on something like that. So if you guys know why you have to type your zip code in every single time, please leave a comment. I was just so blown away by that. Also, shipping preferences. They do encourage free shipping. I only did free shipping because I was getting too frustrated trying to do what I wanted to do with shipping, which was similar to what I do on eBay. So finally I just caved and was like, these are older items. I don't care. Shipping for most of these is very inexpensive and whatever. But man, oh man, if I could just save my shipping preferences to be buyer pays, I just plug in a dollar amount and I do my own shipping, that would be amazing. So buyer's experience, similar to my eBay experience. Here's the cost. You pay, $3.50 or $4 for shipping. I go over to Pirate Ship. I do my shipping label, and all is well in the world. The reason that it frustrated me so much was that to have the buyer pay shipping, you had to put in a weight of an item. I do not weigh my items when I photograph them. I weigh them when I go to ship them. And so I could not figure out a way to do it how I wanted it. And so finally I just caved and did free shipping. But they obviously are pushing that. Also, why can't they just save the shipping preferences? From what I could see, I couldn't just save my preferences. Kind of like eBay, you can save them, but you can still edit them if you want. Anyways, let's see. Very short title. I think it was 40 characters. I think Poshmark is 70 characters, and I think eBay is 120 or something around there. So eBay, you're writing a novel in the title and like all the keywords. Poshmark, you can kind of pretty much describe it with a few keywords. Mercari, it's like, say the brand, say the item, say the size, and maybe the color. Like, it was so short. So it was very weird for me, but maybe that's just something you have to get used to. So let's see, there's no save draft, but when I Googled that, apparently some people do have a save draft. I could not find it on the computer. So maybe that's something that is available on when you list on your phone. I couldn't find it on the computer, and I just gave up. But I do like having drafts because I'm always listing and sometimes walking away. All right. One of my biggest pet peeves was condition. So what I liked was they had these 5 boxes on your listing page, and you just selected one. So one was new with tags, one was like new, one was good. I don't know what the 4th one was, and then it was like fair or something like that. So I don't know. Anyways, good is normally what I always almost put good pre-owned condition on almost all my listings. And that's just because I set the expectation. I don't want to overshoot and say excellent pre-owned condition and then someone finds something with a little bit of pilling and I miss that. I'd rather set the bar a little bit low. And so like pleasantly surprise them if it's excellent condition, if that makes sense. So anyways, good pre-owned condition, on the little notes under it, it said 1 to 2 flaws, but usable or something. I wish I would have screenshotted this, but I didn't. And I'm like, well, good, but flawed is not most of my items. But then the next one up was like new without tags, unused. And I'm like, well, that's not my items either. So I feel like there should have been something in between those. But yeah, it was a little strange to me. Let's see, a couple more things. I couldn't type in brands that were not on their list. Like I couldn't save it if it wasn't on their list, and that was a little frustrating. The good thing is that they do have direct messaging so that buyers and sellers can communicate privately. The bad thing is, for 2 sales, had quite a bit of messaging going on, and that was not initiated by me. So it's concerning to me that maybe this is a platform where there's way too much messaging going on, which is probably one of my least favorite things about. I'm happy to answer a question. I'm not always the best at it, but I'm happy to answer a question if there's missing information in my listing. But I don't like unnecessary interaction, if that makes sense. And partly it's just because I've got a lot of things going on. And so I'm not always glued to my phone. I don't always have cell service. And so the first person that bought something she just said a simple thank you. And it was my first person. So I was like, yep, great. Love this top. I think I just put love this top. I'll ship it out tomorrow. And so that was yesterday. But then this morning, while I was pulling my shipping, I got a message from her saying, great, when will you get this shipped out? And I looking at this going, I've already, and I know that can happen on Poshmark, people asking you when you're going to get this shipped out, but that's my first sale. And I'm like, I mean, I already told you too. But anyway, so I just reiterated, yep, it's going out. Oh, she corrected herself. She then realized I had already said it. She said, oh, sorry, I see you already said that. So I just responded, yep, the tracking will be added soon or something like that. So that was a little concerning. Then the second person sent me an offer and then immediately sent me a message. So I just feel like they're triggered to send messages. I could be wrong, but that's a lot of messages for 2 sales. two messages. And the second message was just, she was asking how it fit. Now I did have measurements in the pictures. She was asking if it was a little bit looser around the waist. I just said, it's a t-shirt. It's an extra small. According to measurements, it seems like it's a little bit looser, but definitely see measurements. And then she still wanted to buy it. So, anyways, yeah, I don't mind messages, but I also don't want them on every item. And so far it's 2 for 2 on Mercari. So, and then lastly, the 100 listing cap. So eBay has a listing cap and I don't remember the details, but I remember that when I hit that cap on eBay, I was just able to email in and ask for more listings and I got them. And I don't know if that's true for everyone. I don't know. I don't, it's been a while, but that's what I recall. Mercari, I emailed in to ask, okay, can you explain this cap and when is it going to lift? I wanted to list 200 items this weekend. Again, easy to do with cross listing. For them to have a cap and not be able to tell me, so this was their response to me, please be advised that the number of listings that new sellers can list is capped at 100. This limit will be raised as you complete sales. If you would like to create listings for new items, you will have to delete other listings to make room. Please feel free to reach out back to us if you need further assistance. And I'm sitting there going, okay, how many completed sales do I need to have for this to lift? What does it lift to? What is a completed sale? Is that when they accept the item and all is good in the world? Is someone going to notify me when I am able to list more? I just had a lot of questions. I don't think I'm going to respond right away. I'm just going to see, I mean, I've had 2 sales, but how many do they need me to sell? Because I mean, 100 is a lot for most people. Most people are not wanting to list more than that, especially if they're selling out of their own closet. But for me, I would definitely like to list more at the moment. So anyways, I would love to hear your thoughts on Mercari. Do you sell on the platform? Do you like the platform? Did you stop selling on the platform and why? Leave me your comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if there's something that you're like, nope, you could totally fix that, let me know. And I'll send you guys, or I'll do another update video in a couple weeks probably, just to tell you how my sales are going. And probably in about a month, I'll share with you if I'm going to continue on with the platform or not, and just my overall experience after about a month. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed just my little update, this trial, this experiment, Mercari experiment, and I'm excited about it. So anyways, I'll see you guys soon. I hope everyone's doing well. Hit the thumbs up. I'll see you again later. Bye.